You are welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for staying with me, for liking the videos, for watching, for downloading, for sharing, in fact, for making your comments. I appreciate those comments. It helps me do more, and I kindly solicit for more of it. Thank you very much. Today, I'll be solving some questions, especially for the Waec and Nigerian students. There are some exams, there are Waec going on presently. So I would like to engage them with some of the quick ways they can approach the questions. Not just quick, they are easier and faster means to quickly solve. Now let's ask one of these questions. We have question 1. So we have this question. The question says, solve for x if 1 plus 4x upon 2 minus 5 plus 2x upon 7 is less than x minus 2. How do we go? When you have such a question like this, the first thing I will advise you do to make life easier for yourself, just clear the fractions. And how do you clear the fractions? Introduce the LCM. You can call them the least common factor, or the least common multiple. Just a common factor for this one is like x minus 2 upon 1. So these are the two numbers they look for their LCM, a number that they can divide. And that will be 14, right? So multiply through by 14. You have 14, open a bracket, 1 plus 4x divided by 2 minus 14, open up the bracket, 5 plus 2x, close it, upon 7 will be less than 14, open up the bracket, you have x minus 2, close it up. This here 2 will divide 14 7 times. 7 will divide 14 2 times. You can see that the denominators are no more in existence. So now you can expand. By the time you expand, 7 open this, you have 7 plus 7 times this 7 times 4x, you have 28x. Then minus 2 here, we open this, you have minus 2 times 5, you have minus 10. Minus 2 times 2x, that will be minus 4x. That will be less than 14. We open this bracket too, you have 14x minus 28. At this, what do we have? Then collect like terms straight. Yes, all the x families, bring them to the left hand side of the equality sign, of the inequality sign rather. So you have 28x minus 4x. Then 14x here, by the time you are able to subtract 14x from both sides, this will cross at the right hand side, right? So you have minus 14x, or what some people will call bringing it to the left hand side is positive, it becomes negative. Then you have less than, you have minus 28, then minus 10 is here. So add 10 to both sides so that 10 will cross out here, then here you have plus 10. Or you are bringing the minus 10 to the right hand side, like some would say, become plus 10. Any which way. Then here, 28x minus 4x minus 14x, you have minus 4x minus 14x to be what? That will be minus 18x. Remove minus 18, remove 18x from 28x, you should have 10x. It should be less than minus 28 plus 10. Minus 28 is bigger. 10 out of it you have minus 18. Yes. So at that, you are looking for x, right? You divide both sides by 10. Dividing both sides by 10. This comes out, then you have your x to be less than minus 18 over 10. And that can be what? That can be 2 here. You have here 9. You have here 5. So minus 9 upon 5. That is what we should have. Then at having that, you are good to go. You can just deal with anything else that you have. Okay, that is that. Then go to B. The B part says log a base 10 equals to k. Without much ado, log a base 10 is 0.3010. That is the actual value. Check your calculator, you confirm that. Log b base 10 is 1.4771. You are not told to find AB. So if you are told to find AB, how do you go? All you have to do there is to just make sure you use indices. That's all you are doing. You are using the laws of indices. You are looking for AB here, right? Now, to find AB, you have already log values. Don't forget the laws of logarithm. If you have log A is equals to 0.3010, if you want to change a value in log form to indices form, you know what you do? This, we are going to make a sort of formula because we are looking for AB. It's just straightforward. You're looking for A times B, right? So we need A here, we need B here. And to get a value, we need to make a sort of formula. We need to express everything in terms of A. And to do that, you have to re-express this log form in indices form. And how do you do that? This, we go on, this 0.301 will be the index of 10. That's how you express a log form in indices form. So this implies that A can be equals to 10 raised to the power 0.3010. So for log B2 in base 10, 0 is equal to 1.4771. Equally, B will be equals to 10 raised to the power 1.4771. Can you get this? So at this now, what do? So you have A equal to something, B is equal to then A, B, that will be equal to A times B, of course. That will be 10 raised to the power 0.3010 times 10 raised to the power 1.4771. Then you also apply the laws of indices here. Common base, different. So add the powers up, you have 10 raised to the power 0.3010 plus 1.4771. And that should be equal to 10 raised to the power, you can add up 0.3010 plus 1.4771. That becomes 10 raised to the power 1.7781. Then check your calculator for that. 10 raised to the power of that, 10 raised to the power of this. So the answer becomes 59.99. That's what AB will give us. The other one, quickly without wasting time, this. If x ratio y is equals to 3 ratio 5, find the value of 2x squared minus y squared divided by y squared minus x squared. I think it's advisable. Now, there are two ways you can go. You can decide to say, okay, of course, x ratio y means x over y, or x upon y. That means 3 over 5 can be equal to x over y. Then if you decide to say, okay, let me simplify this, probably something will cross out. Nothing is going to cross out here. You have 2x squared minus y squared. This is no longer difference of two squares, because 2 cannot be expressed in a, you can't simplify the power of 2, you get? So this one can be expressed in difference of two squares. So since there is no way here, come back to this place. What do? You make x and y squared, write this in terms of x and y. What do I mean? I write x upon y, that's mean of x ratio 5, x ratio y, that is 3 ratio 5, means 3 over 5. And this implies that what? If you do this, make x squared the formula here, you have 5x can be equal to 3y. And that implies that x can be equal to what? 3 over 5y. If you make y squared the formula here too, it implies also that what? Y can be equal to 5 over 3x. So in this place, you express your x, put the value of your x, put the value of your y. So what do we have? We're going to be having two open brackets. What is our x? That is 3 over 5y minus, okay, this is even squared. minus y. Y is what? 5 over 3x all squared so you can just leave this minus y squared. Okay, since you have re-expressed that in that minus y squared, that will help you to solve easily. Then divided by, you have y squared minus where is our x in terms of y? Minus 3 over 5 y squared. So you have 3 over 5 y squared. So sorry, you've not been seeing what I've been doing, so sorry about that. So I explained from here that log 0.30 log a in this base, log b in this base. I've explained that, you can see it. Sorry, I wasn't showing it the other time, so sorry about that. So you have here already your ab is equal to this. You have this already. You express them in indices form, so index form, common base, different powers, add the powers. When there's products between the bases, then you have 59 point this. When you express 10 raised to power this, you have this. Then this x ratio y equals to 3 ratio 5, and that was equals to this. And I said the best way you can go about that is write your x in terms of y, which you have done, equally y in terms of x. Use any of them in this equation, use any of them. So yeah, I decided to use my x. I've written my x in terms of y. So to open bracket, this raised to power 3 over 5 y all squared minus y squared, then divided by y squared minus what? X squared. And x is what? 3 over 5 y all squared. You get it? According to this, it is squared here. Y squared minus x squared. Y squared minus x squared. My x is this, then I squared it. Then you simplify that. What do you have? You are going to be having 2. This squared will be, open brackets, 9 over 25 y squared minus y squared over what? Y squared minus 9 over 25 y squared. So it's like you are having the same thing. So since we've gotten the same thing here, we can, okay, this will be 18 to 25 y squared minus y squared upon y squared minus 9 over 25 y squared. So I think it's straightforward. So what do you do here? It's like you are removing something from something. That's what you are doing. Okay, I can decide to factor out the y. Yes, do it that way. Y squared, you have 18 over 25 minus 1 over y squared, open bracket, 1 minus 9 over 25. You see this y squared cross out. So at crossing out permits me to manage this place. Can you see this? I factor out y squared is common here, it's equally common here, it's common here. I factor it out, then it crosses out. Then 18 minus 25, you can express that in decimal if you choose to. So you have is 0.72 minus 1 divided by 1 minus, so 1 minus 0.36. So what do we have there? This one gives you 0.64. Then zero 0.72 minus 1, you have 0.72 minus 1. So you have minus 0.28. So divide that by 0.64. So you're going to be having minus 0.4375. And that's like just minus 4375 divided by 1,000. Okay, 10,000. You can break that down if you choose to break this down. 5 year is 8. Remainder what? Remainder 3. In 37, that is 7. Remainder 2. Year 5. Year 2. 2,000. 8 again. 1. 7. 5. And 400. 5 again. You have 3. 35 upon 80. And that is 7 upon 1. So minus 7 upon 16. This is what you will have when you do it that way. You get it? So let's... Okay, quickly we continue. So we have here the second part. Okay, we have 4a now. You have log 8 base 2 plus log 16 rather base 2 minus 4. This is actually straightforward for you. So considering this one, I told you we are looking for shorter cut, a better and easier way. They all good, so good. They are all of the same base, right? I think yes, with an exception of one. One of them is okay. You have log, yes. I said the denominator that is having log 16 base 4. You know how to express that anyway. The numerator, let's express that. We have log 8 is what? That will be log 2 raised to the power 3 base 2. 2 raised to the power 3 is 8, right? Then plus log 2 raised to the power what? 4 base 2. Then minus 4 log 2 base 2 divided by log 2 raised to the power 4. That is 16. Then since everything is in base 2 at the numerator, make the denominator 2 log 2 so that at least you can easily cross it out. So you have, this will be 2 raised to the power of 2. And that should be equal to what? Numerator log 2 raised to the power 3, you have 3 log 2 base 2. Then plus, bring your 4 to the back here, you have 4 log 2 base 2 minus 2 comes to the back here, you have 2 times 4. Okay, nothing is coming to the back. It's already log 2 base 2, so you have log 2 base 2. Then divided by this one, 4 comes to the back, this 4 goes to the back, then you have times, when the power of the base goes to the back, it takes inverse. Instead of 2 comes to the back, it will be 1 over 2, then log 2 base 2. Now, do you get that? Then all these values in log form, they will all what? Log 2 base 2 is 1, log 2 base 2 is 1. The log of any value in its own base, the same value in its base, to be 1. This one to 1. So what do you have? You are going to be having 3 plus 4 minus 4 divided by 2 here 1, 2 here 2. So divided by 2, that should be 7 minus 4 divided by 2, and that will be 3 over 2. Simplify. The second part, you have 2, 4, 1 in base 5. Okay, 1325 in base 5 minus 241 in base 5 equal to x base 10. So just express everything in base 10 as fast as possible. You have 1 times 5 plus 3 times 5 plus 2 times 5 plus 5 times 5. Then minus, of course, so I've expressed this one is 0, 1, 2, 3. Then minus what? 2 times 5 plus 4 times 5 times 1 times 5. 0, 1, 2. That will be equal to x. So what do we have now? Just quickly have a deal with that. Okay, this question is 1342. I wrote 5 twice. 1342. So this one should be 1342. 134. There's 4 missing. 1342. Yes. Sorry, that's a question in base 5. So what do we have here now? We have 15. 5 raised to the power 3 is 1 to 5 times 1 to 5 plus 5 raised to the power 2 is 25. So your 25 times 3, that will give you 75 plus 2 times 5 raised to the power 0 is 1. 2 times 1, 2. Then minus 2, 5 raised to the power 2 is what? 25 times 2, 50 plus 5 raised to the power 1 times 4, you have 4. 4 times 5, sorry, that is 20. Then plus 5 raised to the power 0 times 1. 5 raised to the power 0 is 1. So 1 times 1 is still 1. Then here you are going to be having added up plus 1 to 5 plus 2. That will be 202 minus, this is 70, you have 71. So you have 71, right? That should be equal to x. Subtract that. So you have 131. So x in base 10 is equal to 131 in base 10. That is what we are told to do. Thank you for staying with me. Yes, go to question 2. The second, fourth, and 6th terms of an arithmetic progression are x minus 1, x plus 1, and 7 respectively. Find the values of 1, d, there's a common difference, a, and 2, the first term, which is a, then 3x. This is one of the x here. So let's go. You have 2. So let's write it according to how we write it in arithmetic progression. If you have a value like you are having, first term is a, we know, this is the first term. Second term is always what? A plus d, this is second term. The third term will be a plus 2d. You can derive this from the formula that says that a plus open bracket n minus 1 times the common difference. So when you say the first term, that means n is what? 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0 times d. That's why the first term is a. When you say second term, take n to be 2. 2 minus 1, 1. 1 times d, a plus d. That's why I have second term, and on and on. So they say the second term, that is a plus d, is the second term. That should be equal to what? X minus 1. That is equation 1. The what again? The fourth term, that will be a plus 3d. This is fourth term. X plus 1. Then the sixth term, that will be a plus 5d. That should be equal, they said it's 7. So this is equation 2. This is equation 3. Now we are looking for common difference. Now look at the 3 equations. How can we easily get the common difference? I think it's advisable we look at equation 1 and 2 closely, because we are having x minus 1 and x plus 1 at the right hand side. And if you subtract the 2x, they will cross out, right? Then we can, a of course we also cross out, then we can get our d. Do you get that logic? So go that way. It's easier that way, instead of combining this with this to get this. Because if you combine 1 and 3, you'll be having 3 variables, a, d, and x. So it's more complex. You get it? So let's go with 1 and 2. You can also say 1 minus 2. A minus A is 0. D minus 3D, that will be minus 2D. X minus X, so that should be equal to 0. Minus 1 minus 1, that will be minus 2. So that means minus 2D can be equals to minus 2. Of course, dividing both sides by minus 2, our D will be equals to 1. So 1 gotten. The second one, since we've gotten D now, let me say from equation 1. From 1, let D to be equals to 1. So that will help us to get, no, we are looking for A, right? We can't use equation 1, because equation 1 we have 3 variables there. Go to equation 3. Since we are looking for A, from equation 3, let D be equals to 1. So A plus 5 open bracket 1 can be equal to 7. So that means A can be equal to 7 minus 5, and A will be equals to 2. Now to get our X now, in equation 1 or 2, slot in the values of A and D. So just let A be equals to 2 and D be equals to 1 in equation 1. So what do we have? We have 2 plus 1 can be equals to x minus 1. So that means 3 can be equals to x minus 1. That implies that x can be equals to what? 4. That is solved. Now for question B. Look at this question. Oh, I was writing, you were not seeing. So sorry, I was always carried away. So we have equation 3. Let's have explained this already. You can see it in my written work. Thank you for your understanding. Now for let me attempt this one here. So if you have this, he said look at this diagram. It's a cyclic quadrilateral. So you have inside, you are told find the diagram, from the diagram below, find the interior of AOC. Where is AOC? This is AOC. This is AOC. That is AOC. Now I told you look for the interior. This will be the interior. Do you get it? So if this is the interior, how do we get that interior? That's the question. We have this place here, 39 here. We have 62 here. In fact, there's no tangent here. So you watch out for, you are looking for all, you are going to make use of these theorems for circle geometry. I think it's advisable we get this place first. Do you see this? Yes. If you get this place, you should know that ABC, let me write this, ABC plus 62 should be equal to 180. So that implies that angle ABC can be equal to 180 minus 62, and that should be equal to what? 180 minus 62. You have 118. So this place is 118. So if that place is 118, what else do we need? Do we even need 39 in the first place? I don't think we need 39 in the first place. It is as it's like a reckless abandon. We may not need it at all for anything. So the question is, look at it very well. What is the next stage? What can we do to get the value, the other values that we are solving for? So the theorem states the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. Do you remember that theorem? So if you compare this to this one, angle at the center, this is angle at the center, because this is center O, is twice angle at the circumference. Which angle is at the circumference? It is this one. This is the angle at the circumference, 118. So we can say that AOC can be equal to 118 times 2. And that can be equal to 236. That is the AOC. Don't forget, AOC is the exterior angle. Now we are looking for the interior, which I've indicated with broken line. So interior of AOC, of course, everything here gives you angle at the point. That should be 360 minus 236. So your answer is 124 degrees. This is 124 degrees. Do you get that? Thank you. Quickly, let's round up this session by going to question 5. The cost of dinner for a group of tourists is partly constant and partly varies as the number of tourists present. The cost of dinner for a group of tourists is partly constant, this is the first statement to watch out for, and partly varies as the number of tourists present. Okay, I also underline cost too. It costs $740 when 20 tourists were present, and $960 when the number of tourists increased by 10. Find the cost of dinner when only 15 tourists were present. Now here, all you have to just do is just do what? Watch out. This topic should be where in mathematics? This under variation. Not direct, not inverse, not joint. It is a partial variation. So this means the cost, I said the cost here for a group of tourists is partly constant. These are some of the terms to watch out for under partial variation. Partly constant and partly varies as the number. So cost partly constant and partly varies. So that means the cost C can be for the constant is K, partly constant, then plus partly varies as the number N. We multiply another constant. Another constant we can use, let's use B. Since if you C, so we have two constants here. What are the constants? We have K and B. You get it? So now you can go input the values. When you have $740, a cost of $740, so we have the constant that what you are looking for. Number is 20 or was 20, you have times B. This is equation 1. And when the cost $960, you have K plus, when the number, yes, 20 tourists and we're present, and 960 when the number of tourists increased by 10. From 20 increased by 10, that will be 30 now. Do you get that? It was 20 before at $740, at the cost of $740. Now it increased by 10, so that will be 30. This will give you equation 2. The question now says, find the cost of dinner when 15 tourists were present. You are now going to write your C, K plus 15B. So here we are looking for C. Now with me, before we can get C, we must have gotten our K and our B, the two constants. So since these are just written simultaneously, we can solve it simultaneously. So you have, look at here, K plus this, K plus this. First eliminate this K. How do you eliminate the K? Subtract the two equations. That's elimination approach. So you have 470, 960 minus, you have K, stranded B, 30B. You subtract them. This is 0. This is 2. This is equally 2. We minus 0 minus 10B. So definitely our B should be equal to mine. That will be the, thank God there's minus on both sides. So the constant, first constant will be 22. B is 22. Divide both sides by minus 10, you have 22 for B. So since B is 22, go to equation 1. Just let B equal to 22 in equation 1. So what do you have? You have 740 to be equals to K plus you have 20 open bracket 22. So 740 can be equals to what? K plus 20, that's 22, that will be 440. So K can be equal to 740 minus 440. And I think that should be equal to 300. So K is 300, B is 22. Then slot it into what we are looking for here. So slotting it in here, what are you going to be having? Slotting it into what we are looking for. They said look for the cost when you have 15 tourists in attendance. So we can say our C can be equals to 300 plus 15 times B, where B is now what? 22. So that becomes 300 plus 15 times 22. That is 330. And that can be equal to what? 0.3. So that will be the cost for 15 tourists will be $630. $630. Thank you for staying with me. I really and deeply appreciate you. Please share my videos with friends, with your classmates, with your classmates. Share with them, like, subscribe, and most importantly, make your comments known. Any observation, let me know. Any correction, I deeply appreciate it and I covet it. Thank you very much. See you again for the other sessions.